Flow dynamics is the word that I use to describe a meditative practice that I deploy through my creativity. You could also say that it's to nurture my creativity. So, in a way, flow dynamics is a conscious exercise that I'm utilizing to flower my entire existence, my reality, my potential, and the nature of those interacting concepts. In essence, what I'm talking about and demonstrating through this video, as you can see, is a practice to be in what is often called a flow state. Now, the flow state is another way of saying, in my view, a harmonious balance with your body, mind, heart, and environment. So 4 dimensions. 3 of them are tangible. 1 of them is more intangible. So I'll explain and explore each of these 4 components. But first, I'll just emphasize what this flow state is or holds in terms of a qualitative experience. So the flow state can be described as a dimension of existence where you are engaged with reality in a way that feels graceful, without resistance, seemingly floating. There's a presence of peacefulness. You could almost emphasize joy. Joy meaning a dynamic of awareness that holds a resonance of ecstatic quality, which is slightly different than what you might describe as happy, that feeling you might get if you acquired a new phone or a car that you love. These kind of moments are similar in a sense, but profoundly different in another. So, when I'm referring to joy, I'm referring to a harmonious state that resonates from within, irrelevant of the external acquisitions that you may or may not have. And joy is not contingent on the external acquisitions or circumstances. It's a consequence of a synchronicity of your inner dynamics that are in grace with the external formation of reality. Meaning, your body, your mind, and your heart are calibrated into a synchronized state, a vibrational harmony with the environment it's existing within. This is joy. So joy is a component, a consequential component, a resonant dimension or aspect that can be experienced on the emotional state, just like anger or frustration or anxiety has its own signature quality that's experienced on an emotional level, and consequentially, the body resonates in compliance to those thought dynamics, which would be more tension, for example. And so, a flow state does not simultaneously hold two countering states of resonance. Therefore, you cannot be in a flow state and be angry, per se. Now, one can translate or transform any vibrational function into a harmonious state. However, whatever is retained is the truth. And the truth can never be usurped by a wish alone. Now, what this means is truth and love, which are the two essential principles I deploy to practice flow states of existence for my life and work, are there for the fundamental understanding that without truth, how can we begin to calibrate our own state of existence? So the first step is to practice being sincere with ourself. And to do that, we need to orientate to the principle that we hold responsibility for our life. This principle is often referred to as a no excuses mindset. And this is not meant to be understood as a kind of jurisdiction of policing. Rather, it's a way to hold oneself in clarity or accountability for the resonance or the dynamic that you hold. And this is essential. This is an essential component because it is the first stage of the process, which is self-awareness. If we ourselves first do not acknowledge that we are the captain of our ship, if I use the ship as a metaphor for my body, mind, heart, those components which I'm assuming 100% responsibility over, I cannot take responsibility 100% of the environment I'm existing in because I can't control the weather. I can't control other people. You may have influence on the environment you're existing in, but you will never have 100% control over it. That simply would not be a function of life in balance if any individual were given such authority. So, therefore, to understand the cooperative nature, we recognize these four dimensions of existence: our environment, our body, our mind, our heart, are to be aligned to the best of our ability. The environment has a component of which we cannot control, but the body, the mind, heart, what are they? Can you master your body? Well, we understand that through training, discipline, focus, you can practice to develop mastery over your body. We also know we can do this with our mind through training, discipline. There are meditation. There are various techniques to develop mastery over our mind. And then there's the heart. What is this component we refer to as the heart? The more intangible. We know there's an organ there called a heart. The heart is often referred to as, or I often refer to the heart as a compass. After all, it is often stated to follow your heart. Why follow the heart? Why is the heart referred to as a guidance system? Oftentimes in spiritual practices, the heart is referred to as the gateway to love, the gateway or the seat of the soul. So there's something about the heart. And we know the heart is intrinsically linked in some regard to your thoughts. For example, if you look at somebody and you hold negative thoughts for that person, for example, you say, I hate this person. Well, interestingly, the heart shuts down or stops resonating loving compassion for this person. Yet you look at another person and perhaps you say, I love this person. And the heart resonates a different field of energy that is more magnetic. Love. And the quality of that loving resonance is, wow, embracing, such as a magnet, such as the functionality of the compass, which becomes stronger. So imagine this dynamic of flow, utilizing the love and truth principle, as I describe it, as I practice it, is essentially a way of calibrating your system so that you become in tune or aligned with your heart. And if you look at your heart as a gateway to your highest potential, your divine component, okay, this is where things are getting esoteric, okay? Then you recognize that in order for the heart to be open, the mind must be in a non-judgmental state. Because I described earlier, if you harbor anger or hatred, tension, frustration, all of these things which are a consequence of looking at life through the lens of a judgment or a criticism or an opinion that is negative, the heart opens or closes accordingly. So, truth would mean observing reality unobstructed. So, experiencing reality without the judgment, criticism, or opinion. This will then keep the heart tuned to an unconditional, loving, open state. So, the practice with the drawing exercises integrates the breathing, the body, from the point of the Tantien, that's the Chinese word for what is considered the well of your physical life force energy, that center point is approximately 2 inches below your belly button. So my physical training, which I deploy in the flow line drawing exercises, is to breathe in through the nose, pulling the air down to the tantien, which is 2 inches below the belly, exhaling through the mouth, with the tongue sometimes placed on the roof of the mouth. Certainly in the 21-point exercises I do, the tongue will be placed there. It's not essential necessarily when I'm doing the drawing exercises or vocalizing exercises, as you can see in the video right now. But it is a added component. So the breathing, to keep the physical body relaxed. You learn to tense your system on the inhale, and then you learn to relax the system consciously on the exhale. The entire physical infrastructure relaxes while you're paying attention in the present, so your mind isn't drifting into the past or the future. You're in observation or witness mode in the present moment, whether you're doing your exercises or, in my case, as I was showing before, the drawing exercises. You're observing the line as it's flowing, using your body to move the pen as you're breathing, but you're not judging the quality of the line. You're not judging the colors that are being used. Where is that line determination coming from? Going left or right? What is determining the color you're about to pick? This is the training to learn while you're keeping the mind in an open, non-judgmental state. You are learning to feel the intuitive guidance of the heart, the more intangible component to your system. Some may call that your gate to the quantum field of intelligence, or your soul or spirit. There are many ways to, in many cultures, describe what the heart is referencing to or a gateway to. Without getting lost in any of that, the main point is to become sensitive and aware by keeping your system relaxed, the body relaxed through conscious awareness breathing, your mind relaxed by keeping it open and non-judgmental. Therefore, the heart relaxes and defaults to its natural open state, which is a funnel of unconditional loving energy. When these three inner components, which you have or I have control over, becomes calibrated in this way through practice, then you can begin to integrate it with the environment you are in. Just as you see in the picture there, I'm practicing to relax my body and move through the space I'm in with conscious awareness, so I don't bump into my furniture, and I'm just feeling the resonance with music in the background, and I'm moving and flowing to the sounds while I'm staying consciously present. This practice that I'm referring to as flow dynamics essentially is the exercise I utilize to deploy the love and truth principle. And this exercise allows me to center and recalibrate my system and opens the possibility for me to access greater and deeper dimensions of my potential that I express through the popcorn trail called the artwork. And the art can only always be a reflection of where you are on this journey. And that's why I like to organize my work in chronological order, so I can observe and others can observe who are interested in the creative evolutionary process of utilizing this technique that I've just described to flower not only my life potential, but the possibility that the work that I create will resonate and reflect these ideas into an art form that contributes to the well-being and evolutionary progress of the community, society, essentially human platform that I'm participating on. That is my wish.